Hello, 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 and welcome to the stream that I have decided is now named Ups and Downs. This is episode 2, or episode 1 of it being called Ups and Downs. It all comes down to what you want to bother thinking. This is going to be recorded on the Friday to hopefully be put up on Friday night. Tomorrow we have the Fulham match, and we'll try and do a post-match podcast after that one. That'll be part of my 19-hour charity stream for the Red Cross, and hopefully that works just fine. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to unmute Discord now and see if people make noises and scream at me.
We're not going back to last year.
No, because I've had to watch that
Oh,
back because
fucking hell. Okay,
Aston
Harry's
Villa.
back.
Aston Villa did not let the goal in, so I reviewed. It came back on my feed, so I watched it.
As a word of warning, now you're on stream. Just to...
So, no calling Don Goodman the C word, Harry.
No. Let's keep this within TOS.
If I drop the C word, can I I'll edit it and
Right.
take it out.
On the subject of C words, Cardiff.
Don't even.
Nah, sorry.
Bad day at the office. Bad day.
Sorry, we are a Leeds United podcast for the most part. We do have to talk about that football team sometimes. So
Wait, is this what you've called the podcast, the ups and downs?
yeah, might as well.
God. Oh my god.
No, it's just a loose title.
Yeah, it's loose. It's for now. There are no other
like
pods.
Shut up.
Can we get back to the Cardiff game?
Yeah.
Rather than speaking to Callum.
It's there are no other podcasts with that name at the moment, so fuck it, I might as well.
I reckon if that game would have been in a normal bit of the season,
Yes.
rather than having a 3-month break between, that result wouldn't have caused so much uproar.
And we don't make those mistakes because we're not rusty.
It might not be a case
Basically.
of that. Like, I'm just talking about the result as a whole, because we came off winning 5 games straight, 5 or 6 games straight.
Something like that. It was a lot of
So-
consecutive matches.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can't talk about momentum when it was.
I'm not talking
how
about
many-
momentum. I'm sort of saying having it been such a long break, people were expecting us to fly out the gate, where it's never going to happen. So I'm happy to say that's a one-off. They've learnt the mistake. They'll get back to it tomorrow.
Yeah, however, tomorrow we got Fulham.
Yeah, but if you win your next 8 games, all your next 8 games, you don't even think about Cardiff.
Not even.
You don't think about Wigan at home. Like,
If we win the fucking home games to come,
Yeah.
not even the next 8, just the home games to come, and I'd take that.
Well, yeah,
that's
that's because that'd be enough to take us up, basically.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. What I'm gonna do is in the background, I'm gonna put the West Brom match on, just so I can keep track. So just for whilst I'm gonna nip off, pop on the stream just to make sure that we're at the 3 viewers, etc. But what did we all think about Phillips? I think he looked a little bit rusty and slower than normal.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
Dare you bash our
I
Yorkshire
can't
Prince.
respond now.
Do you
Anyway,
wanna
shout
talk
at each
about-
other.
do you want to talk about Declan Rice? That's like, bloody hell. Don't mention Calvin Phillipson being rusty. God, how dare.
England's
How-
best centre back, Declan Rice.
He's Irish, for a matter of fact. It wasn't great, but
Yeah, but I think I haven't watched it all, so I can't really prove like an in-depth judgment of it. But
Of what?
I like the football, like Cardiff game.
Oh,
But like from the mistakes, like I think you just got to blame everyone. It was, like I say, not a bad day at office, but just not good enough.
Kelvin is the hub of the team a bit, so when it feels like there's nothing really going forward, because a lot of the things start with him, then a lot, I think, the blame can automatically fall back on Calvin.
Yeah.
But I think compared to a lot of other people on that pitch, not naming names, Patrick Bamford, I think he was probably
I just think
removing the error. It was not too awful, really.
that error for me, it just looked like the game might have got to him where that point of the game we looked comfortable. We looked like the game was in our hands. We were sort of running the game. I think it was just a little lapse of judgment where he thought he could just get away with playing a quick one-touch pass, misjudging ball, and it fell to their man and they scored a good goal.
like it is very like not like him to do that though, because like I have watched his games in detail, like for my uni work, and very rarely does he play like a pass like that without even looking.
Yeah.
So I just put it down to rustiness and just.
I feel like both of the mistakes came from a place of being a little bit too casual on the ball. Like they've become really used to training sessions where a misplaced pass doesn't really matter, and it's going to feel quite a lot like a training session when you're just on a pitch, no crowd. Even the referee was basically not there. He looked a bit like an angry pit bull. But you know,
Which referee?
God, I can't remember his name.
It was Andy Woolmer, I think.
I don't know. He hadn't refereed us for 4 years before this, so
Name does not ring a bell.
yeah, that's why.
I don't think we can really say the fact that he's not refereed is anything to go by. I think you've got to take each game as it is.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a poor game for a referee.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, but we can't blame the referee because the referee had nothing to do with either goal that we conceded. It was just lapses of judgment.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think we were just poor. Like you say, Bamford were poor, but I think everyone was just poor. Like Bamford, he like second most average shots a game in Championship, and he have like 1 or 2, and he usually averages like 3.5 shots a game.
I got annoyed by all shit that you seen on Twitter and Facebook about Bamford because I didn't think he played all that bad. I think he did his job as he should, but then I think an aspect of bad placement. Not even bad placement, good placement, but just slower reactions, and he's just got loads of stick for it.
He's just partly he could blame the fact that the crosses aren't connecting to where he is, and like they're either like I'm not like I said, I'm not seeing the Cardiff game, so I don't know if this is the case, but like we'll often cut it back to click edge at box, or we'll play it behind Bamford who's running near post. So it does
That's what happened for that Harrison one. He's just played it back to Roberts played it back to Harrison,
and he's got unlucky with his run, hasn't he?
And then it's hit Bamford. Whereas if he would have just squared it across to Bamford, it'd have been a goal.
He'd have blazed it up at bar.
No, but that if he would have squared it to Bamford, that would have been a typical Bamford goal.
Yeah.
Whereas in the 6-yard box and it hits him and goes in.
Yeah, but it was one of those situations where your winger's got 2 choices to make. Either one of them on the face of it look right, and it was just ridiculously unlucky that neither of them went in. Harry said something along the lines of everyone looked poor. I would like to mention someone that I think didn't look poor. I think Poveda looked real good. Poveda gave me happy feels.
With a bit more match time, like rather than coming on at 60 minutes, coming on at 45 or something. But he looked all right. He looked like... My only problem with Poveda is I think he favours his left foot too much rather than alternating between.
Yeah. I think a lot of us wingers are like that. They're like, if you look, we do play Costa on the right, who's left-footed, or Harrison out of where I can't think of how I've done it in my report, and they do like favour the stronger foot, but they are on opposite wings.
Yeah.
That's what the favoured foot is.
Because you sort of see that quite often where Harrison normally plays on left, doesn't he? So he'll push along the line, cut inside, and then play to his left and play it along the byline, whereas Costa will look in to try go for a shot on his left.
Something I wrote about Poveda for my match report, for example, was he makes me feel how Jack Clark did before the Middlesbrough match.
Oh.
As in, like...
What a feeling that was.
Yeah. He felt real good and real entertaining to watch. Admittedly, we got to keep him away from Red Bull, but if we manage to weed him off it, I reckon he could be really good for us, especially in the run-in.
Yeah.
Where's he a Red Bull junkie or some shit like that?
No.
Just
the
context, just leave it.
The backstory is last year a player named Jack Clark had a bit of a seizure on the bench because he drank far too much Red Bull.
I don't know that.
So, yeah, that match I think we can just write down to being a shit result. But with it being a shit result, other teams around us had shit results as well, so it didn't really.
It didn't affect us too much.
It gave us a chance to. Oh. No, I'm sorry, I'm watching West Brom game as well. It didn't really massively affect where we could have gone, really.
Yeah.
To me.
I mean, it'd be nice to win, but capitalise. But at least we've had that little back fall to think these have lost. We've not really gained nothing, or we just won one more game less.
And I'd much rather our warm-up match be against Cardiff than against Fulham.
Yeah.
Because if you've got to take one match to ramp up at the very least, then you'd rather it be against someone who's not really a promotion rival on a weekend when everyone else is fucking up, than in what is effectively a 6-pointer against a promotion rival.
But that's the thing. That last weekend, not Derby, Cardiff have done very well out of it.
Yeah.
They've gone from like 12th to like 7th within one weekend, which is pretty good. Pretty good, if you ask me.
Yeah, but to be fair, like the sharp ends of the top leagues right now are looking insanely close. Like there's 6 or 7 teams going for the playoffs. There's a hell of a lot of teams that could get into the Champions League, although Sheffield United look like they're dropping off a little bit.
They're called those bottle jobs.
I want to say they do look weaker.
Yeah.
The break has not helped them at all.
I
It's
think
pretty
it's
OP
given.
stage.
I think it's given like opposition more time to sort of develop to the tactics. Really,
It's
Just
a
a
mix of that
break.
and the fact that Cameron's favourite things kicked in, whereas Sheffield don't have a really deep squad, which means that the 5 subs haven't really done anything for them.
It's absolutely
But
ridiculous still.
like, moving back to the Pervader case, like bits I've seen, it looks good, but I think he just needs that bit more exposure into first team
yeah.
to like run at players and then with balling. So what I seem to see when I looked at him, like he'll get him ball beating a player, but then cutting back, and it was like
Yeah. But
maybe in that couple of games time, he might be like, "Oh, I'll whip balling now," rather than come back and just slow the tempo of the game.
I feel like he's a bit likely to be better for that when it comes to this weekend, because there's no point beating your man than trying to make a move forwards, and there's a second man, so you can't get the ball in anyway. Like
just gonna quickly
Cardiff were playing that deep and compressed that there wasn't much that we could do, whereas Fulham I think is going to make a lot more sense to deal with. What
put there for
what's
anyone.
your... Oh, okay, fair enough.
Football.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute that. So yeah, I think there were clear signs that he could be good, but the first weekend it wasn't quite exactly what we needed, was it?
It's not a team you want to be playing even really, because if we've been going through training sessions in which, based on what we hear from 4 parts with Bielsa, it's just like murder ball where it's non-stop and constant action. For Ben White and Liam Cooper to be sat in their own half and have literally 11 Cardiff players in front of them, I can see how it is easy to switch off and probably assume this is, not the kind of game you'd really be firing yourself up for, and that's how Cardiff capitalised. But what do you do?
Right, so just to ask everyone then, in terms of last weekend, are we broken up about it, or are we like, yeah, it's fine, I guess?
I think the other results have sort of made it more fine.
Yeah.
I think the problem comes this weekend if Brentford win and we lose to Fulham.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's a bit more right. We need to sort of do something here.
Yeah. Callum, how are you feeling about the Cardiff match?
You
know.
Yeah, of course.
It was frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
It did seem like a case of, with the ref at least, of one rule for them, one rule for us.
Oh yeah, shit, we didn't sort out the new segment, did we, of Callum asks a question. Callum, do you have any specific questions about football or that match of football that can be answered in the Teaching Callum section of the podcast? Which will also probably roll through to when we're watching Formula 1, because let's be honest, you don't know enough about F1 yet.
I'm learning F1 faster than football. My question is, how the fuck can the ref let their players fucking rush through our guys, and when we fucking touch them as a
Right,
foul?
can you sort of go through a proper question rather than just
I don't think I have a
opinionated
question for
one?
this week.
What's the
Have a
other
think.
side
Okay.
rule?
have
No,
a think through the rest of the podcast and come back at the end, and then you can ask your question.
Now, as for referee, like, I don't think you can blame referee. Might be poor, but end of the day, we are a football team. We've got to better ourselves. Referee didn't cause them 2 mistakes, did it? Like, we caused them 2 mistakes.
I think that's what we've done well so far this season. We've sort of negated the effect that the referees had on matches.
Oh, I don't know, Millwall.
Yeah, no, but there's been the odd game like the Millwall and Fulham one. But other than that, we of kept the match in our own hands rather than letting.
I want to say
league do
today
it
I
for us.
watched West Brom game at home. And in that 1-0 decent performance, but should we have had a penalty kick back the handballed it? And you could argue that we should have had one, but we didn't let that decision affect us. We got on with the game, and then we scored. Simple line.
So from Cardiff to one of the spectres that haunt English football,
Especially Cardiff's history.
especially Cardiff. Yeah. Neil Warnock's got a job, hasn't he? Was the league table lying?
Where are they in the league then, going into this Borough? Are they sort of are they one of the teams that can potentially go down?
As a quick update, Ollie Watkins has just scored.
Right, I'm behind.
Oh, that's not my fault.
But you're watching the stream. You know I'm behind.
I mean, yeah, that's right. Okay, fine. I'll turn the telly off.
I'm well behind me.
I'm 15-29.
Ryer's got it for me.
But Brentford going to beat his out the top two.
Oh, please.
Brentford did do look decent though.
I've said all this time. I feel like someone's going to grab this division since like December. Somebody needs to grab this division back to fucking bollocks and just like go on a Villa Fulham run of like 9 wins in a row or like 15 unbeaten. And I'm worried it's going to be Brentford.
Oh, that's a finish.
That's a good goal. Well worked goal that.
Right.
Why
anyway.
is he celebrating in front of a crowd that's just not there?
Anyway, going from the football match that no one can see to Neil Warnock. We talked last week about could Hull be saved from relegation.
No.
Is this what could save Middlesbrough from a potential drop as well? They're currently 21st and they're equal on points with Hull.
I think possibly if you look at players Middlesbrough have got, like who they brought in with Pulis, it is like a lot of Warnock players. You've got Gusted, you got Aidan Flint, Daniel Ayala, big players who will just kick the ball up. But I think I'm just looking forward to just put it on Twitter really, just empty stadium and then just having Warnock's voice just bellowing out, just like shouting at lines like line out.
There's one phrase to describe his football. I don't know if it's TOS or not.
Oh fuck! Here we go.
Beautiful.
No, it's just the obvious one word.
Shithouse.
Shithouse is fine. I've made sure that this channel's for mature audiences, so I'm not going to get in trouble for shithouse, am I?
So as long as I don't tell him to C-word it long.
You what? Sorry.
So as long as I don't tell him to C-word it long.
No, let's not do that. I'll be honest. I'll probably drop a couple in the 19-hour stream tomorrow, but we'll see.
To crack it long.
Oh yeah. Well, crack. Yeah.
Yeah. So
crack.
with Warnock, I reckon it's one that could go sort of real. Either way, they won't win another game, or they'll probably just stay safe within the next two.
Is this the Millwall thing? The Warnock?
Borough.
Oh, what's the Millwall stuff about?
What
Millwall?
Stuff?
The Millwall. I thought the Millwall lost their like.
Just stop.
No, we're about Middlesbrough getting a manager.
Who was it that the manager got like something? You were on about.
I'm not sure.
I think what Callum's trying to say is that in one of their remaining fixtures, Middlesbrough will be playing against Millwall, and judging by the rest of Middlesbrough fixture, it's pretty easy running. They do play those weird tiger things in the north that we don't like to talk about. Stoke, QPR, and they've only really got tough games against Bristol and Cardiff, who will be looking for a
but
potential
you've got to think Millwall are also in that hunt for a potential playoff spot. Stoke are battling for the survival in the league.
I think Stoke will be fine by then, though, won't they?
Potentially, though,
I think they'll be fine.
I think Stoke have a hard running, don't they? And
Yeah,
they're only
but-
2 points ahead.
But you've got to consider that Barnsley and Luton are looking like they're basically down, and are Hull really gonna do anything anymore?
Hull are dead. Hull looked awful in their game. I can't see a world where Hull don't go.
I think there's Stoke versus Hull this weekend. No, it's Birmingham Hull, and I'm that confident that I'm sorry, Birmingham don't lose that.
Birmingham Hull, and then Hull versus Borough. So it's literally all in the next 2 games for Hull. I think if they can't get points out of the next 2 games,
They're down.
They're dead and buried.
Yeah.
But with Borough, I reckon it's a real let-off that Hull sold the best players for them. I reckon they've got real fortunate with that fact.
Well, yeah, Hull would be playoff spots if they weren't, but I
won't say playoff. I'd say mid-table, but
I don't know. They were looking at playoffs, and then they sold Bowen, and then people were like, hang on a minute, they might end up mid-table here, and then they sold Grzycki, and then people were like, what the fuck? What?
Weren't they
What?
both in the same day as well? And you're just thinking,
They were both on deadline day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went right down to wire.
because it made you think there's just no ambition in that club, and why would anyone want to sort of?
I don't think it's the club. I
Blame
think
it.
it's the fact they've got a board that wants money, so they've effectively like Swansea'd it, if you get me. But they didn't have anyone on the board to say, let's not sell our best footballers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Warnock can keep them up, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think the teams around them are so shit that there's no chance of
Yeah.
Middlesbrough really going down.
And plus, he's not really got out to lose, as he's like. He said he's been retiring anyway. 8
Yeah.
games. It's like he
Yeah,
might want a contract for next season, but is he too bothered?
I reckon he'll take the start of next season. They won't be really successful or anything, and then they'll just sort of say, "Thanks, Neil. We'll let you go. You kept us up. See you soon."
On the subject of clubs being successful, someone, and I've got to nip off for a quick moment, has said Liverpool win the league, miracles happen on our prep sheet. Who has put that, and why do you believe this to be the miracle that it is?
30 years is all I've got to say about that, though. The fact that 30 years, like, they've been sort of not mediocre, but they were the bottlers of the Premier League.
But
So
you're calling that a miracle, but then it's like teams like Leicester go from relegation to winning the league.
yeah, but
I'd say that's more of a
it's
miracle.
the
than
whole
Liverpool
story of
winning.
Liverpool always falling at that final hurdle. So that's just sort of made me think, if that can happen,
Don't say
what
it.
about us? I said it. Sorry, Cameron.
No, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, we look at it and go, oh, last time Liverpool won league, we got promoted. But
I'm not even on about that. I'm more on the fact of this is the style of football that sort of shows success now. The sort of quick, free-flowing football,
I've missed
Rather-
something, and we got onto football theory somehow.
rather than I was more saying the fact that from this season we've seen that this quick, free-flowing football is effective as opposed to oofing it long like Cameron's favourite manager really prefers.
Let's not say the name, or you'll get put on the ugly sheet for some reason.
they'll be on TOS.
You can't mention
No,
the name of our
no.
lords.
The name is on the ugly list because you insulted the man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, why is this one on?
Which one are you on about?
Hang on, we're not on that yet. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that style of football, it's not like it's been. It's not like that style of football's been like opposed at any point, has it?
Works
Like-
for people, doesn't work for others, does it?
Like
I
Man
know
City.
that one's on, don't matter.
Fuck's sake, Andrew. That
Sorry.
is later. We have a timesheet. Don't you work with timesheets? Different, I know. But, yeah, I mean, it's been working a hell of a lot for Guardiola for years, so it's not like this
Yeah.
season's a bit of evidence to be like, look, it works now.
It's just good to see that we've left that whole mentality of just oof it long and go for a target man like Chelsea seem to be doing now.
Yeah. So us following the same tactics,
Hopefully it should
following
work.
yeah, same tactics, same like curse. In theory, we're looking okay.
You'd hope so.
I mean, has anybody seen Sadio Mane and Helder Costa in the same room together? Because I haven't. So maybe, suiting up for different kits on teams on the weekend.
Jack Harrison's hair has got longer. He could secretly be a
Egyptian?
certain yeah. He could be Pyramid
Pushing it a
Pele.
little bit
You
there.
never know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel good about Liverpool winning it because it's not Man United or Man City or Chelsea, which is fun. I liked when Leicester did it as well.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like it's just a good change for the Premier League, really. Without it sort of, it seems more like it's a 2-horse race than one team walking away with it, even though Liverpool have romped it this season.
Yeah.
I was going to say the way they've done it for me has been like the most impressive thing. Just how like from pretty much October onwards, when Man City were dropping points to teams like Wolves and I'm pretty sure they did to Norwich as well. Like Liverpool was so consistent, maybe except Watford where they did kind of get played off
Yeah.
the park, but they've just been so good week in week out to a point in which outside of maybe like Chelsea under that Conte season and Ferguson's scum teams, I can't think of a team where I've like watched them and gone like week in week out, like yeah, they're gonna win.
My question regarding this team though is, what is the better achievement? Liverpool this season winning it the earliest possible and still having chance to get the highest possible points tally in Premier League history, or Arsenal's Invincibles?
This.
Invincibles.
No, I'm saying this because it's a consistent ability to beat a team. Like having an off day is fine. Like okay, whereas I've not seen what Arsenal's season was look like. Hang on.
Like 12
It's like the fact that they didn't get as like near I can't even speak. Didn't even get like nearly as many points as like Liverpool have. Man City did it last year.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, Arsenal. Arsenal. I think the difference for me is Arsenal drew 13 of those, whereas Liverpool have only been, at worst, a tiny. Like I wouldn't say they were played off the park by Watford either. I'd just say that like they were well counted, whereas with Arsenal there were 13 times that there was a team at least as good as them, whereas that's only happened 3 times to this Liverpool side. Which it's less of a sign of unbeatableness and more of a sign of complete dominance for me.
I'd personally say the Invincibles only because I feel like, and this isn't a discredit to Liverpool in any way, because you can only beat a team that's in front of you, and that's pretty, justifiable. But the caliber of like the top teams from like the Premier League this season, I think, has been really, really underwhelming. Like, Chelsea, they've got Frank Lampard as manager, and yeah, they're fourth, but they're not really like the Chelsea that we kind of know. Tottenham have had to sack Pochettino; they're down in 7th. Fuck knows what's happening with Arsenal, and then you've got teams like Sheffield United and Wolves who are battling for a European spot. Leicester have got into it, and by discredit, those teams aren't bad because, like I say, you can only beat what's in front of you. But compared to some of like the big boys in this division that should be way closer or way more up there with them, I feel like that's kind of a bit of a down payment. Like if you took like the best team for the maybe not even decade, like the past 5 years for Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, Tottenham, would Liverpool have won the league by now? Probably not, but maybe that's just the look of the draw.
Like, especially with losing as well, you could say like caliber of competition is low, but like we've been touted as the best team in the Championship, and yet we've lost at home to teams like Wigan who've nicked it with a goal. Like, but Arsenal managed to not play like teams that weren't as good as them, and managed to at least get a draw against them rather than losing.
I've just done a bit of a skim through Liverpool's results, and the last time, if I'm reading it right, they conceded a goal to another top 6 team was in November. That I can see, which and that was against Man City when they beat them 3-1.
I sort of think that this Liverpool side would beat the Arsenal Invincible side because I just think that sort of the defense on this Liverpool side is just insane.
I'm not sure they've got like Patrick Vieira, Thierry Henry, Bergkamp.
Yeah, but
Perez, Lundberg.
It'd be a very good game to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I think Liverpool.
I don't know. It could always be like last year's Champions League final when no one wants to open a gap.
Yeah.
Which
possibly.
That would be one of the shittest football matches you could possibly watch.
Oh no, worst football match is that World Cup final that we should have got to.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
That was shit. That.
not watch Burnley with Watford the other day? That was pretty shambles.
Nah, I'm watching Bournemouth, Brentford versus West Brom, and they're already wasting time with Brentford.
Brilliant.
It's a bit of ball then, Dick.
In terms of incredibly important football matches, we've got Fulham this weekend. What are we hoping for this weekend in terms of results around us? How are we feeling about the Fulham match?
I was shit scared at Cardiff game last week.
At this point,
such a bad feeling. But like, I couldn't give a shit. Brentford against West Brom, who wins that? Because end of the day, we have to focus on ourselves. Like, I'm nervous for it. Don't get me wrong, but I was more nervous last week for the Cardiff. I felt Cardiff. I feel as nervous as I was for the Sheffield United game last year. But this game, I feel less nervous because we've at least had one game back to get into how we get into flow of things.
Yeah, I think I've started to adopt the mindset of I don't mind if Brentford beat West Brom because we don't have to beat all three of the teams. We only have to beat two of them. And if West Brom slip up, that's a fucking good sign. And we only have to beat one of Brentford and Fulham.
I'd still so much rather just win.
I'd
so much rather West Brom win, and then we just fucking run off as two teams, and both go up, and no team has a look in.
I don't know.
Whereas with Brentford winning, it just all feels a bit too close.
Yeah, I'd feel quite good if we could just run off into the distance and West Brom are left worrying about Brentford and Fulham. Do Fulham still have to play West Brom?
Yeah, Fulham have to play like almost all the top six, if I remember right.
Okay, I'm just gonna have a quick look. Yeah, the third last match of the season for both West Brom and Fulham is against each other.
So Fulham play us, Forest, Cardiff, West Brom. They've already played Brentford, that's why. So at the restart, they had to play 5 out of the top 6.
Yeah.
4 out of the top 6.
My main thinking about the Fulham thing is if it comes to 3 matches left and they're against West Brom and they're even on points with West Brom, both sides are going to play that quite defensively. They're not going to want to give up their position in the race for promotion.
This is one reason why I bought that LUFC Lewis on Twitter, because just looking at what other teams are doing.
Yeah, that's
fucking stupid. Like,
we still need points. Yeah,
Leeds United need this amount of points to go up. Only Leeds United can get this amount of points. Bollocks to what Fulham are doing. Bollocks to what Brentford are doing. I don't care. I'm not a Fulham or a Brentford fan. I couldn't care if Fulham lose this game and Leeds win this game and then Leeds win this game and with 6 points. You can just fuck off. I don't care.
No, my whole thinking is I just want as big a gap to third as possible. That's why I want West Brom to win.
End of the day, I couldn't care if we go up on goal difference, if we go up by a point or 8 points. As long as we're up at end of the season, that's all I fucking care about.
I feel like the most determining factor going into Fulham, though, might be Fulham themselves compared to Leeds, because we know what Leeds are going to do. They're going to come out, if they go 1-0 down, if they go 1-0 up, they're going to keep doing the same shit. If Fulham play like Fulham do, I feel like they'll be a bit more vulnerable to like Leeds, because they've got the calibre of player, but you know, at this point in the season, you'd like to think that it comes more down to the manager and the system.
Yeah.
But if they do a Cardiff where they kind of go, we're not going to play like Fulham like to, and kind of go, we'll sit deep, we'll invite you onto us, and we'll go, look, we'll hit you on counter with, you know, he who shall not be named, Ivan Carvalho, Mitrovic, and kind of want to run it like that, then for me, if they look good doing that, they're way more a bigger threat in that game.
I think
you got to remember that Scott Parker knows our system like
I
the
want
back
to
of
say
his hand.
it depends on Scott Parker's game plan.
I do keep forgetting
Scott
Parker.
Spot on. He goes to bed tonight and thinks, yeah, Leeds are going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to win the game.
It's just predictable plays, Harry.
It'll be there with crystal ball tonight, won't it?
Great play.
I think one of my bigger fears at the moment is that Fulham decide, you know what, we'll just try and fucking shithouse this and hope that Leeds make a mistake. But then again, you got to remember that Fulham need the points.
Yeah. And also what you got to think is as well, we're 2 games into this mini season, you can call it. We haven't really got into the flow of it, and now we're doing Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Are Fulham gonna go, yeah, we're playing this team on Tuesday. Yes, we need to beat Leeds, but we do need to save a bit to go into that because
I think they'll prioritise safer points at Fulham.
I don't know, but you could
Like they'll try to get
against
points off us.
Leeds.
They'll try to take draws off us, West Brom, Forest, etc. But I reckon they'll prioritise the safe points.
But then that only leaves like 5 games for them to win. That's a pretty risky gamble to take.
I mean, if you're doing that, you're banking on Leeds bottling it, and that's not the most obscure thing to bank all your money on. If you're going to put your house on something.
But then again, when you don't have to put the house on.
It's interesting. I think it's interesting to say the least. I don't know if it's kind of got the cup final caliber to it because as we've seen, West Brom drop points, Fulham drop points.
Yeah.
And it would be really nice if we could go out there and win this game. But I think I don't know if it's my mindset, but after that Cardiff game, I'm just gonna be like, just go out there, Leeds do what Leeds need to do. If they win, they win. If they draw, they draw. If they lose, they lose. I don't give a shit about what anyone else wants to do.
I think
because
my biggest worry is if we do win this Fulham game, we are going to get bellends like Elio C. Lewis going, "Oh, we're up already." When we're not, we got 7 games. And
The bit that's sort of making me feel a bit better about this Fulham game as opposed to last week's Cardiff game is the Cardiff game was just a bit of a jump into the unknown, as we've not seen this team for 3 months. We've not seen Cardiff for 3 months. Whereas watching Fulham last Saturday against Brentford, they looked poor. They didn't look sort of in the game, but you've got to then think they've had 3 months off. They've now been back in sort of the flow of the sort of weekly football routine, but they just didn't look sort of there to me.
Yeah. I forgot to do what I'm intending to do at the start of streams from now on, which is replay the follow notifications from the time that I'm not streaming. So thank you, Just Jessup, for the cheeky little follow. I'm also going to put that in the right place. Is that the right place? Yeah, boy, it was off stream, so he's not in the chat right now. But it was nice anyway. We also saw the released players list come out. Has anyone struck your eye, or is it full of crap?
I believe it to be full of crap. I think there's no one that we can realistically look at and then go, yes, you're going to be able to play next year. There's no one like that.
I mean,
I don't think.
You can let me dream. I'm going to look at Ryan Fraser and go, can we have him?
But as you said off stream, he's going to go to a big club, surely.
Yeah,
the names that we've got to sort of look at is your Newcastle's Jack Colback's been released. Could he be a potential signing?
No. Like you look at this, and there'll be a reason why these teams have released these players. Because
he's not necessarily released; it's the contract where the player might not have wanted to sign a new contract.
Yeah, I mean, looking through though, there's still not a huge amount of quality. Like we're not gonna get Pedro, are we? We're not gonna get Willie, and the highest we can look is Joe Hart, and that's saying quite a bit.
There were rumours about him coming to Leeds, weren't there? But I wouldn't want it. I reckon we need an more experienced keeper, but I wouldn't want Joe Hart.
Yeah, because I'm sure we've all watched England matches and we know what Joe Hart can be like.
We could get Premier League winner Andy Lonergan back.
Oh.
Get him back.
He's not getting a medal though, is he? Because he's not played 5 matches.
Is he not?
You need 5 appearances.
That's poor.
He has got a Champions League medal.
Matthias Pereira's down injured.
They might play him in the remaining games, so you never know.
I don't know. Are they gonna put Allison out when they could? I mean, surely they could sub. I guess they could sub Lonergan on.
No, they're not. They're just gonna go every single game for the win. They've got to.
I mean, I can see them giving like the youth players, like I think there's one called Williams, if I'm remembering.
Neko Williams, or he'll get started.
Danny Williams.
Would they want the record for most points as well?
They will do, yeah.
You can't get complacent here. You wanna.
I'm not even talking about complacency. I'm talking they count as appearances if you just bring them on in the 90th minute. Like they don't have to be on for long at all. You could just bring someone on 90th minute, boom, you've got an appearance. I think Neko Williams was like 2 or 3 off, but I can see them giving as many medals as they can to players.
I think they'll play that lad that scored against Everton in the FA Cup. I can't remember his name. Is that Williams?
Curtis Jones.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones. I reckon he'll get a few games because I think they're sort of touting him to be quite a big player coming up.
Having a look at the release list, I've just noticed a name that I hadn't until now. Lallana could be alright.
He was
That's
linked
one
money
I
a while
saw.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been linked a couple of times this year. Through January, that we were linked with the pre-contract. But he's one where I don't really see him fitting in. I don't think.
I could see him doing a half decent glitch.
Yeah.
Not quite the same level, but he'd like have a go.
What about Ross McCormack? I've just seen his name on here. I don't think
Oh,
maybe he
well.
lost the contract on the back of that sofa in Ibiza, but he was looking for it. It's a shame.
Nah,
couldn't sign it.
he lost it at Grealish's house, Cameron.
Oh, did he?
During lockdown.
Oh, what a shame. What a weird career that man's had. Honest to
Okay.
God.
The fact that he's still at Aston Villa and just got released is crazy.
It's
What
not
is
even
he
he's just got released. It's weird.
I've just given Transfer Market a look, and apparently, in terms of rumours regarding Lallana, there's Leicester, and I can't see Leicester stooping to Lallana when they've got the players that they've got.
I can't see Leicester with Lallana because they're in for William Carvalho, and they've already got Dennis Pratt, Yuri Tillemans, haven't they?
Yeah,
James
and Didi.
Maddison and Didi in midfield. Like, I wouldn't even say Carvalho's a necessary target for them, but it's
yeah.
like £14 million. He's a like European caliber midfielder.
So, are we looking at that list as a bunch of players that we could probably do without,
Yeah.
or at least like there's no one that's right on the scale. There is players that are too good that aren't going to come here, and players that are championship tier, and there's a reason they're being let go.
A lot of it is youth players, to be fair, that clubs are just wanting to get off the books.
Yeah,
Because
and if
they're
you look
not
at
going to have a future.
the first team players, other than that Willian, there's not really any that go. Yes, you'd go straight into a top 4 team. They're just a lot of dross that's just going to be sat not towards the end of the careers, but like 29-year-olds who have like, if you give them a 4-year contract, that's going to be like 30. You're going to be 33 before you come back.
Were we linked with Vertonghen at any point?
Leicester.
Oh, Nampalys Mendy. I think he plays defensive midfielder and he was displaced by Ndidi, so if we keep Phillips, there's no point.
Just before we move on, we'll play a guessing game. What do you think Ross McCormack's annual salary was when Villa got promoted that season?
Oh, hang on, give me a minute. Are we talking before or after promotion?
So the season where they went up, he got a bonus. What do you think he made during that year, including the bonus, as an annual salary? So like the year.
I'm gonna say
it's too much.
3.5 million.
I'd probably say he's on about 60k a week.
He's on 70 now. I know that.
Oh, fucking hell!
Because it went up to 70 when they got promoted.
So I'd probably say 2.9. Just a measly 2.9, you know, not much.
He was on his annual salary that season was 3.3 million, and he was loaned out to a club in Australia and made a total of 0 first-team appearances. Not bad for a overweight piece of shit, really. But what do you know?
Are you laughing at Ollie Watkins?
I'm laughing at Cameron calling Ross McCormack an overweight piece of shit.
Ross, if you come back, I'd love you forever, but Norwich and that, it's not the one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're not interested in any of the Premier League releases, are we? No. Okay, that's fine.
No.
So we're moving on to the final segment: the good, the bad, the ugly. Opening up, we have Twitter banned Katie Hopkins, who we named the Katie Hopkins Award for Ugly for. And
it's a permanent ban. It's always
it's a permanent ban. It's a
Yeah.
permanent ban, and all the shadow accounts have been banned as well, which I appreciate. It's some good shit.
What a day!
That's a good like.
That's a dub.
That's the spot.
That's a
big
dub. That's the spot.
Things you love to see.
It. The biggest dub.
Yeah, I would say given like the whole climate in the world at the minute, I think it was just an obvious thing that had to be done.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I've got something else to put in bad in a minute, but we'll get there.
Are you going to type it in? Or?
Next, no, I'm gonna leave it as a surprise. Next on good, I am happy to admit I put this one. I said Ian Poveda looked real solid this weekend for a free signing. Worth it, I think. 50% sell on fee, but
Wait.
fuck it.
Sorry, when did we do the last podcast?
Last Tuesday.
Yeah, last Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Okay, I'm going to put something else in bad.
Okay, go on. But yeah, I think Poveda looked real good. So, sure.
Considering he just looks like a bit of a. He at least is as good as Jack Clark, and we got what 9 million for Jack Clark?
Yeah.
And we've
He
just signed this
definitely-
for free. He's great business by Victor. It's got to be said.
Yeah. I think that's a real good sort of promising sign of where they expect the club to be coming up. I see. We can do it in both. I think that's Harry that put that.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
My mic has gone insane because I've had to move it.
What were we just
Let's
saying?
have a look. Okay.
Poveda and bring
Yeah.
Poveda in.
I
Yeah,
especially.
I reckon he's real like sort of they're looking at for the next 5 years with Poveda. I reckon he can learn a lot from. Can someone stop breathing so heavily
Yeah.
into the mic? I reckon he's one that could, within like the next 5 years, easily be a staple of the first team squad and learn from Harrison and Costa about sort of what he can improve on.
I
So
also.
reckon yeah.
I also like Poveda's new hair. He looks less like a EDL skinhead when he's got hair.
His little Colombian curls.
I'm genuinely looking forward to, like, if he comes on
Well-
tomorrow, I feel like he could be quite good because Fulham will play quite open in comparison.
Yeah.
Next on the good list, I ain't gonna read this, and I'm happy to move past this one. But
I'm happy to move past this one.
yeah,
What
whoever.
was it?
Do we want a quick 5-minute promo? 1 minute promo for that.
I don't know. Okay, I'll promo it.
Is
Tomorrow-
anyone in the stream?
There might be. I don't know. I've not checked. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a charity stream on this channel for the Red Cross. It's gonna go from noon on Saturday until 7 a.m. on Sunday. There's gonna be pizza. There's gonna be watching a Leeds match. There's gonna be games. There's gonna be a slow descent into insanity. Be there, donate, and add to the average viewers because I'm gonna increase my personal donation as average viewers go up. See you there.
I'll put my head in and rant about things.
Uh,
Except the Red Cross, because they're great.
All I'm
so
saying is
the
I'm
next
working.
one-
Woo!
Oh, Jansen's not happy. Jansen's an unhappy boy.
Jansen's
Yeah.
never happy.
Jansen's starting on the ref.
He's kissed him.
Hello, Jansen
so-
is no longer a Leeds player. Shut the fuck up about Jansen. He's not worth our time anymore. He betrayed us. He stabbed us in the back.
I want to. If Brentford went up though and we didn't,
I'd be
you could class that Jansen business as some of the worst business we've done since. Oh, fuck off, Macondas.
Still in Ross McCormack.
Right. Who is it that saw Ben White doing something this week?
Just on Twitter, he just looked really happy at Nesborough. In Sunday, he just looked relaxed, just rowing the boat, steering the HMS Pistol League 2 promotion.
He also really tan. For a man that should have been going outside, he's very
I
tan.
want it. I'm like, Lauren mentioned this, but his tattoos look really good.
He's just a good-looking lad. Like,
Harry, are you sure that your girlfriend likes you and not Ben White?
She didn't know who Ben White was, and I was disgusted. That's why I put her in the bad section. But I thought, no, I can't.
It's just a nice picture to have of him that we can forever remember when we don't sign him and he signs for Real.
Honestly, if someone was to get me that on an A3 canvas, I'd happily put that above my TV.
I've said it as my Twitter profile picture, except people would think it's me, and then if I met a girl on a date from Twitter, she'd be really disappointed because I look
Right.
Oh,
So our nominees for the Good Award that we probably should give a name to. We'll work that out at some point.
The individual.
No, we're not.
Theos
We're
Award.
not calling it the Chicago Pizza Award. Is Twitter for banning Katie Hopkins. We've got Pervader for looking solid. There's a charity stream. Someone put that down. It's not a nominee though. And Ben White for going to Knaresborough and smiling, and Harry's thirst for Ben White.
Oh,
I'm gonna say, given the winner of our ugly one for last week,
Yeah.
which was Katie Hopkins,
We had.
I think that the only reasonable answer for the winner is Twitter.
Yeah, fair. It counted the ugly award. There we go. Send
Ben
it.
White was
Well
close
done.
to nearly turning me gay, though. I'll give him that.
I'm the only one.
Speaking of Twitter, time for the bad award.
Yeah. I'm gonna come in with a surprise one in case I forget it. This is also a Twitter thing. After there was an incident in Glasgow earlier today, Nigel Farage instantly went to Twitter and blamed it on illegal immigrants, despite them not being involved.
I think that's going to the ugly one.
That's more ugly than bad.
Hang on.
This is controversial.
Yeah.
Ugly one.
So for me, that's yeah. Bad or ugly? What are we thinking?
I think that's to win the ugly award. I think
Yeah.
that's quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would say you can also put Nigel Farage in the ugly award for not understanding American current law of not flying into the country.
Yeah. That. Yeah.
in there
Okay.
for a
That's
Donald
fair.
Trump rally.
Anyway.
Put him in there for his dumb face.
Yeah. He does also have an. He looks a bit froggy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Shit. Can
It
I
looks like
put?
a soggy ham sandwich.
It can't win, but a retrospective good is all of the TikTok and Instagram and like K-pop stars who bought all of the
Okay.
booked all of the tickets to Donald Trump's rally, so only like a third of the capacity went.
But apparently they're saying, oh, that's
That
not how it
was
works
good.
anyway. Apparently they blocked it all. It was like, yeah, you're bullshitting them, aren't you?
Stop being an agent of chaos. That's yesterday's.
So, it's good, but so are we going on
Yeah,
to
we
bad?
should probably actually do bad. Who put up our first one?
That was me.
Go on then.
Yeah, I was just on about from the fact that every single thing you looked at on Twitter between Sunday evening and Thursday, Twitter and Facebook was just filled with, oh, Bamford's shit, isn't he? Get Edmondson in, get J. Roy Grott back from loan, get Augustine, bring
That
back
was
Becky O. This is the team we've got at the minute. We have to stick with them. We have to support them. We can't sort of just say this player ain't doing it at the minute, even though we've got no options. Let's just sort of think about every single alternative we can do. It's just we need to get our support behind the 11 that walk out onto the pitch, the 3 to 5 players that are going to walk onto the pitch during the game, and make sure that we give our full support to them because we don't pick the team. Bielsa picks the team.
That was weirdly well put.
I'm a bit annoyed you didn't include us getting behind Lucas the Copcat though. He's not on the pitch. He's not going to get stuff.
No, but
I'm not get behind
but
it.
we've not. When was the last time Lucas the Copcat was seen at Elland Road?
That's a good.
Remember the last time we were at Elland Road?
Also a good question.
March the 7th. Whoa, crazy that.
Anyway, second up, I put this one down. We made a lot of mistakes, and I feel like those who made the mistakes are probably worthy of a nomination for being bad because they made us lose. I'm not as mad at this anymore, but
Ugly.
no,
Because
not
they were.
no,
they were
because
ugly
we can't
mistakes.
put everything in ugly.
Yeah, we got a lot in ugly right now.
Not everything is ugly. Things can just be bad. Like, I'm not going to complain when you put me in
But,
ugly,
like,
but
because you are ugly.
harsh.
Sorry.
But yeah, I'm
Great reasoning
I would
there.
say that one can go into bad.
Can we put Andrew in bad just for that fucking comment?
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway, who is it that Frank Lamparded?
I did. Now, most people might be thinking this is because he awarded Liverpool the league. However, it wasn't. It was because of his comments after winning, actually, at Man City. Sorry, I was going to say losing because everyone thought it was going to happen. Basically, Raheem Sterling came out and said there is basically a privilege within modern day managing in that
Oh, yep.
black managers are fairly represented, and gave examples such as Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Sol Campbell, and Ashley Cole, basically saying if you're a former player, you've automatically got a high level of status as coming out as being a manager. It's a well-made point because you look at how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has managed to stay in that club for so long is beyond measure, and Mikel Arteta. There's definitely a correlation there.
I think there's
However,
a good point to be made about Darren Moore as well, who got sacked when he got West Brom to 4th.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, you compare that to managers like Darren Moore, who did a good job and then got sacked.
But yeah,
well, the exact quote at the end it says, it lists all his players and says, at the same time, they've been respectfully done their coaching badges to coach at the highest level, and the two that haven't have been given opportunities as they are two former black players. Basically saying, if you're a good black manager, stay in a job. If you're a former player that's white, you're probably going to get a job. And even if you're a former black player, you're now at higher employment rate because of what's going on in the world, and that's not right. Frank Lampard, who immediately took offence to these comments, thinking that this problem tackling of race was directed towards him, came back and says, I can't do a Frank Lampard impression because I can't guzzle.
Hold on.
But,
It's sort of Cockney accent. You've got to sound a bit like this, haven't you? You've got to. My name's Frank Lampard. I think we should have won the 2006 World Cup. That sort of thing.
but basically, I think in the actual case of Manchester, I think he got it from my point of view slightly wrong, because I feel it is a very casual comparison, and I feel that I've worked very hard for this opportunity. No, you haven't, Frank. No, you haven't. You took a team that had some of the best caliber of players in that division into 6th. You were better against us by 30 minutes out of 180. That's not an achievement worthy of managing one of the top clubs in England. You self-pretentious crossbar hitting twat.
Cameron, 360, not even 180. But
yeah. It just blows my mind how
the only
Raheem
30
Sterling.
minutes that fucking matter.
It's how Raheem Sterling has clearly made this comment, being like, there is a problem with racial prejudice in the media, and the first man that chirps back is some ballsack looking cockney, and it just peed me off. So there you go, Frank Lampard's in the bad.
Right. Who put the EFL in there?
Sorry, Andrew.
I assume
Well,
Andrew.
I think that was me. No,
Ooh.
I think I put that. Like, I don't get the point. You're looking at crowd noise that Leeds apparently are trying to get in, but it's a home fixture. So when fans are allowed back in the stadium for home fixtures, are you just gonna just say, "Oh no, home fans can't chant because it's too much of a distraction"? Like, I think it's Alex excuse to say no, you can't have it.
When they initially sort of said this about adding artificial crowd noise, they said the clubs will be able to choose whether they implement it or not, and it's not required, sort of thing. You don't have to do it, but you will have the choice. And Leeds were saying, we're going to test it, we're going to see what it's like, and we might use it. We're not 100% sold yet. So I don't know if they actually made a decision regarding that.
I saw someone on Reddit.
You know?
I don't even know if they have blocked it. I've just seen it's rumoured to be blocked, and if they have said you can't have it, I just find it pretty pathetic. Like, it's not going to be a major cause. Like, you can, like, your home form, your home form's better than your away form, but your home fans do help apply more pressure, but like, you've got chuffing cardboard cutouts, like some notorious terrorists, and you've just got match on together playing but Ben White's gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna really maraud out of defense now because of that. I just find it a bit. I just find the EFL that's a shit excuse.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, not held back. Who? Right, I'm assuming this is again Cameron.
Drinks breaks was also on me.
Oh, okay.
If you are a professional footballer and you cannot play 90 minutes, what the fuck are you doing in your fitness work? Your condition is all wrong if you can't do. and the 25, like a quarter of the way through the game, you're going, yes, I'll have a drinks break. Gaffers can talk to the players and be like, yeah, you're doing this wrong. And it's like, it slows the game down so much so that I'm not using an excuse to lose against Cardiff, but for teams who like sit back like Cardiff do, it definitely allows them to slow the tempo down rather than a team like us who like to play fast flowing football. And I just don't see the point in, yeah, it's warm at minute, but it's not like how it's going to be in Qatar in 2 years' time, is it? It's like Qatar in 2 years' time, I could see a reason for drinks breaks, but
at the moment, yeah.
Like, majority of players in the Premier, well, not majority of players, but the players in the Premier League who have played in like Spain, Brazil, Argentina, in like the youth, they're going to be used to playing in hot conditions. And I know it's not because of the hot conditions; it's because they've not played in 3 months. But
yeah,
if you can't play 90 minutes, like what's
next up, we have got VAR. I'm assuming this is the crossing the line but not thing.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the fact that you've invested all this money into the technology, and then the referee says, "My watch didn't ring."
I mean, technically, it's not VAR though.
No. But then
okay, yeah, fair.
The fact that then the whole thing behind VAR is it will detect clear and obvious errors. However, it wasn't picked up on one of any of 7 cameras, even though the TV camera showed a perfect angle of the ball crossing the line in the keeper's arms. Makes you then someone's not doing the job right.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
It was fixed.
How can something like that happen in what is trying to be marketed as the best league in the world? How can you let stuff like that happen?
Yeah,
you should iron these flaws out like as your first thing.
Right. Who said John Terry?
Might be me.
Go on. Brilliant.
This can be. We'll leave this for the Ugly Award because that is in with Villa.
Well, hang on, haven't we got $1 billion for the Ugly Award? Right, okay, fine.
Okay, then I'm going to put John Terry into the bad.
Okay.
With Dean Smith.
Yeah.
For saying, linking back to the last point, him saying, VAR have had a lot of decisions made against us. It's time it went our way for once. Is not a way that I would describe having a decision given to you and a result given to you. It's not the way that I'd want to think about football. Yeah. Whereas you feel like you owed a shit decision.
And it's not a great way to ensure fairness going forwards, is it?
Yeah, they're never going to win a FIFA Fair Play award thinking about things like that.
It doesn't make any fucking sense as well, because how can they say VAR's not gone their way when Jack Grealish has literally broke the award for the most times fouled within the fucking division? Like, what does John Terry want them to do with VAR? Pull it back and go, yeah, he was fouled there, I'll give him a yellow. Like, that's not what it's meant for. You can't say it's not working our way because you don't need it to, basically. Like,
yeah,
you've got a little grease-headed cunt who just lobs himself.
He did it!
God damn it!
We've done so well.
I got to Jack Grealish. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
He said he'd slime back toward himself to the ground. There we go.
It'll be fine.
The whole point is that people should work to ensure that the integrity of the game is like supported and worked out and whatever. Not to go, well, it went our way for once, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Fuck off, John Terry. Using Cameron's words, you're.
Okay, so what is Andrew doing on the bad list, and why is he right above Bin Laden?
I think those two names seem to be
They're linked
No.
somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, they're linked somehow. I can't quite put my finger on it though.
Not to call Andrew an Al Qaeda member, but there's something there. Anyway, who put Andrew?
I think if you take the people we've got on the bad list, that's the actual ranking order of how they're going to enter hell, like who they should go first. So top is Frank Lampard, then it's John Serry, followed by Andrew, and then I'm not saying who's underneath.
Mr.
Oh
Laden
God!
himself.
Right. Okay.
Oh, Pat Bamford's on
See,
top.
I put the last one in.
You can say
because-
Bin Laden.
Yeah, no, but Cameron didn't say it, so I'm not sure. I put that one in because the fact that he was on, like, he had nothing to do with it. It was the fact that someone thought, "I'll get away with this and make Leeds look like." I won't say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Leeds look like a bad club.
Let's keep in mind, Bin Laden isn't Voldemort. You can say his name without him appearing.
He should not be
No,
named.
I was gonna use
think
use
he
a
is
word
dead, to be
after
fair.
John Terry for being a.
Oh,
Joe. I was
right,
gonna
okay.
Go for that word.
Right. So why is Andrew on the list again?
I mean, do we need to explain why Andrew's on the list?
Probably the same reason you're on the ugly list.
I'm not on the ugly list though.
It's been removed somehow.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh,
No, I genuinely don't know why Andrew's on that list.
I don't.
I don't.
I didn't even put him on it.
Harry.
What's my name? What's up?
You put Andrew on the ugly list.
Bad list.
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
Then who put him on?
All right. Okay. Fine. Andrew isn't on the bad list. Bin Laden is. Okay. So who are we giving our bad award to?
Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard.
Frank Lampard.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I'm gonna vote. Do we call it the Bin Laden Award for bad?
Yes.
No.
No.
Call it the Andrew Award.
I've just
If
had a
we
look
do
at
that, then
Kayla's
Bin
face.
Bin
And...
Laden's
Oh, it's a good name, but we can't.
Right. Fine. Fuck it. It's the Frank Lampard Award.
There we go.
Oh no, because that means he has to be a mainstay of this.
It's fine. There's Ken Bates on the other one.
Yeah. Okay.
The Katie Hopkins Award for Ugly starts with me. Why?
Slag it off,
I mean, look at you.
Shit talking Pulis.
Shit.
You can't slag off the shit out.
Slagging off Tony Pulis.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll take that. Okay, I was mean to Tony Pulis. That's fine.
That might have to be our Ken Bates, where we have to sort of put him in there for a sort of nomination.
What,
every
me?
week and think of something. Yes.
Oh, that's not fair. Okay. Anyway,
His Sunday stream lasted like 2 seconds.
it's fine. Sometimes I stream for short amounts of time. Sometimes I stream for 19 hours. That's the way it be, bitch.
Magnus.
What Colin Wanker doing on here for having his last run? I think it's cute that old man's having another go.
It's all Terry did
The
retire.
old man's having the runs.
He's like that old pensioner on the bus that takes the last seat. He shouldn't be there because he shouldn't be on this, like, on planets. Just get out of the way.
The on Jesus,
It-
mate.
It's a point where I'd rather than seeing him have one last run at another club, I would much rather see a young fresh manager sort of come into a club like Borough and have a go at saving them, rather than
Yeah.
a club always going back
Yeah.
to that same old reliable Warnock, Allardyce, or
Warnock.
I don't know.
Warnock, Allardyce, or Pulis, or
Thing
the
is, like,
ex-England manager. What the fuck's his name?
Hodgson.
Hodgson.
Hodgson's at Palace and he has been for a good while. He's not bad.
You know, but he was a manager where you'd always expect go to him and
Yeah.
he'll stay up.
I don't know.
Well, like,
He's
people, like, if you're looking for like a bit of like not stability, but actually you want to get out like the bottom half, but like Chris Hughton, like he's been managerless for years. Why not?
Like Houghton, or even going back to the old point, Darren Moore. We've
think
seen what he
Darren
can do
Moore-
with a squad like West Brom. Give him
Yeah.
time at a squad like Borough, and what could he do?
right. We have another surprise nominee from Kayla. Kayla, can you shout your nomination in?
I would like to
Hold on,
Andrew's attitude.
This is really
Ouch!
this is great.
I would like
podcast
to
work, is
nominate
this?
Andrew because he owes me a fucking car park fight still.
A what?
Car park fight.
Okay. I feel like you've started something with Blackpool rules here, and I don't know if I want to
he
get
was visiting
involved.
Blackpool the other day, wasn't he?
So do you
He was
Am I
dissing
gonna have a
Blackpool the
BT
other day,
media
and
rap
she
written
said
about me?
she said to fight him in the car park, and he never showed up.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna have a BT media song written about me now.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Aside from our internal civil wars, Premier League crowd noise. Who hates it?
Me.
Yeah,
So
I'm
luckily it's voice.
fucking
everyone.
shook.
It just sounds ugly.
It's just stupid. It's like every goal is like the sixth goal is gone in. Like it's just a way, and it doesn't even work half the time. Like I can't remember who it was, but there was a game, and I think it was an Arsenal game. I can't remember who they were against, and Lacazette had a shot. Granted, it was close, but it still went wide. And for like half a millisecond, the crowd cheered, but it wasn't like yes, that's gone in cheer. So it just doesn't work, and it doesn't. It just doesn't sound good. Like at least in the Bundesliga, it was really good sound. Like at least it sounded there was an atmosphere there. This literally sounds like a care home.
I think the problem that Premier League clubs have fallen into is, well, not even Premier League clubs. Premier League has fallen into is they've said the club can't have the sound in the ground because the TVs are going to add it after, and they want it with and without. Whereas surely they should make just one rule saying all Premier League clubs will have the sound in the ground, and you can make it as good as you want because the clubs are doing it. They'll want to sell their sort of thing, or no clubs will do it. We'll just have all the games without sound.
Yeah.
I'd
Rather
rather
than
about sound than what
yeah.
it is now.
Right.
And that's
Like all,
stupid.
We've got a nomination for Donald Trump. I don't think we need to talk about this one much. He called coronavirus Kung Flu.
And he's a twat for it.
Yeah, that'll do it. That covers it.
It is funny.
That is my one contribution to the podcast.
It is a funny name.
Great. That's very
Yeah,
much football related, is that, isn't it?
No, but in all fairness, we've also got an award named after Katie
leave that
Hopkins.
one in. Leave that one in, Cameron. If that's Cameron.
We've also got an award for Katie Hopkins.
Yeah, but
So
that was football related when we were introducing it with Marcus Rashford.
I think ugly is where we do the occasional non-football bits. I think that's fair.
Football. Who's
Um,
that? Is that Marcondes?
Mark Anders, 17.
Yeah.
right.
Sorry,
Next
not
up,
four.
we have Liverpool fans. Why are they ugly? Other than the whole Scouse factor.
I put these because, like, you've got the pandemic. You're told to stay in. Well, not. I know the lockdown rules have eased a bit, but you still got 2 meters up to 4. You can meet 6 people in a park, and yet they're all outside Anfield. Yeah, they're like celebrating, but you look at all litter on the floor. It's an absolute state, and the fact they've said 30 years of it, like in that time, after won 2 Champions Leagues.
Yeah, something like that.
And they got last season. So yeah, like at least you had some form of success. No football club is going to be on top for 30 years. Like, to be honest.
Yeah, but
The bit about that pissed me off though was it's not even that. It's the fact that police have condemned that. Yet you've not really seen any police condemn the. You've heard like councils condemn it, but the shitting Bournemouth with the sheer number of people going to beaches.
Even Blackpool.
yeah, it was
it's
literally like, it was disgusting.
It's what are you expecting? You just wanting another spike? You wanting more time off work and then be furloughed 8% of your wage for sitting on your ass?
Oh wait,
Yeah,
some
probably.
of us can't
Probably
not
cool.
be furloughed. But yeah, it's
I were in that boat, but then it's the fact that you still then making it more dangerous for every other. Oh, sorry, it's a hit bar. West Brom just hit bar from about.
From now on, I'm banning watching football whilst we're recording these.
Yeah.
Oh, we did hit the bar though.
That's not a bad movement, is that?
Yeah. I think rather than Liverpool fans, I just want to say every fuckwit that's gone to a public place and just fucking sat there with their entire family and let their kids go for a run. It's a dick move. Don't do it.
Do it when the restrictions have been lifted on the 4th of July. Have you go, whatever. Fuck it. But they've literally said, until that date, it's business as usual. You fucking lock down, stay inside, blah, blah, blah. Do what we say. But people just can't seem to understand. There's time limits on this shit. There's time frames. You can't just do whatever you want whenever you want to. Because it's just dangerous to other people.
Yeah.
There's also, as soon as lockdown started, there's been like an influx of people who wouldn't even do half the shit they're doing in lockdown. But now, since they're told they're not allowed to go outside, like, I'm gonna go for a run now, even though they could never be asked to do that in the first place.
Yeah,
One
there are a
thing
hell of a
that-
lot more hikers now, aren't there?
Yeah, it's like,
I
oh,
suppose that's good for exercise, but like one thing that proper pissed me off is Leeds United were able to go to Wales and play a team in Wales, so mixed with people in Wales.
Mm.
Yet I technically
don't phrase it like that.
can't go home back to Leeds to see my family. Can't go see my girlfriend. Like technically, but people earning 15, 20 grand a week can go to a different, not a different country. Well, Wales is a different country.
Different nation.
Different nation, yeah, to play
pounds as
football.
well.
Like
It's
I don't
Yeah.
really get why
fucking
they
money.
get
It's
priority.
all money. It's shit.
Basically, the more money you
Yeah.
earn, the more you're allowed to do. Because
No,
they
not
don't-
even that. It's the fact that the whole government thing is, oh, let's get everything started again.
Otherwise,
Cameron.
people won't have money. But yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
the fact of they're just trying to start the economy again when there's no need to just let this blow over, and then we can start opening stuff rather
Yeah.
than still having thousands of cases a day. It's just
Yeah.
common sense and it's shit.
I don't know if it's the case with the Prem, but in the EFL, I know they have said that if there is a second outbreak, the league will be voided again, which I think has the
Yeah.
most beautiful irony to it. If football coming back triggers this outpouring of people to public places, causes a second outbreak, which then causes football to come to a final halt, which I almost would advise people going outside for that reason. However, don't fucking go outside. Just obey the rules. It'll be over before you know it.
Yeah.
3 months in, man up.
They're really easy rules as well. Don't do shit you don't need to do.
Exactly.
People.
Let's move on to
Who?
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this one.
Go on.
Like I just like with having Terry and Smith in bad or what, like there were a clear error on the VAR side, and you were so for Leeds letting you score last season in a game that meant very little to you.
Oh, it's
So
this.
why does it matter that you've now you're in a relegation battle? You don't let Sheffield United score, even though technically they did score. And this brings me on to the point for bringing Don Goodman into the Kitty Hopkins award, because this has brought back the memories of last year with the Villa.
This is controversial.
And like I was listening to it earlier, and just him going, "This Leeds United, your behaviour's been disgusting," and I don't understand. Like that's the first time in months that I've listened to that clip, and it's like, why is it disgusting when from a young age you are taught to play to the whistle? And it's not my fault. Aston Villa are just a bunch of soppy twats who don't get the way the fucking fall on floor like Grealish is twat. And I'm not going to.
I love the emphasis behind it.
Yeah.
Like,
Twat.
if you go to the video, it's like there's on the Amazon Prime documentary thing. You see Janssen and Grealish going for a challenge, and that gobby twat goes down, easy as fuck, and
Which one?
and
We can say that now because I play it.
like Atwell gives the free kick like instantly, and then Grealish like slams the floor and mouths off to the referee, and you're just thinking, you are just a fucking bellend, aren't you? And that's why Don Goodman, Villa, Jack Grealish up for the ugly award for me.
I'm really looking forward to getting demonetized by Harry. Anyway,
Whoops.
let's have a look.
Isn't he your editor as well?
Who put stop? No, right, okay. We'll be taking no more Jack Grealishes on the document. Bad.
No, but that my one was ugly. It was
Right. So, who has put Sterling on there and why?
Sterling for not squaring it and giving Liverpool the league. Because it was an easy ball to square it to Mahrez that could have brought it to the. Oh my god! Can you stop spamming? And it could have brought it to be decided at Liverpool versus Man City next weekend. What a match that would have been! Liverpool win, they get the title at the Etihad.
But if Sterling
It's not-
scores that, it's 2-2 and it still goes to Liverpool.
No, it's not. It's 2-1 to Man City at that point.
Oh, okay. Still, yeah. I don't know. I would personally not give him the award this week because he's the reason that Frank Lampard won the bad award, and I don't want to give the ugly award to someone who says racism is bad.
True.
Aston Villa. Jack Grealish.
Now have the irony that they
And
want
that has been the podcast, boys.
Right.
Like they always boo him, don't they? Still, and it amazes me that like they hold it good for that long. But do they have to now cheer him because technically he has somewhat given them the lead?
Ooh, good question.
Nah,
Anyway,
they'll boo him.
Sleeper agent Raheem Sterling, 10 years in the works.
Sleeper agent Kyle Bartley and Raheem Sterling. They both work for Men in Black.
right. Next up, we have Mick McCarthy nominated. What's Mick McCarthy doing on here?
Just being the worst commentator I think I've ever seen, and that says a lot because I listened to Don Goodman on many occasions. Just honest to God, like I think he was solely there to communicate in Braille because all he did was just say what had just happened, and I'm pretty sure that was just because it would allow blind people to have a better understanding of the game. If that literally, like, I swear, like when Bamford cleared that shot off the line, his commentary was, I think to the exact word, it was, "Oh well, Bamford's kicked the ball away off his own line there," and it's just like. Cheers, Mick. I've not just seen that. Throw my arms up in the air and put my back of my head, looking like Neil Warnock in a Cardiff fucking jumper. Like, it was awful, and it just makes me feel bad as well because people train to be sports commentators and have a job within that industry, and people like Mick McCarthy are getting the opportunity in it.
I want to object, Cameron here. Quite good. Well, not quite good. I don't know. Object. I want Mick McCarthy to be in the good award.
Oh.
Because since he has left his role as Ireland manager, now Keith Andrews is the Ireland assistant, which means that twat won't be on Sky Sports commentary.
Oh.
Which means his biased commentary, shite and whatever he blabs on about, don't have to go through my ears anymore. Now I just have Don Goodman and Daniel Mann.
Does it also mean that Bamford's no longer got the pressure of a Northern Ireland call-up?
I don't know. I think he sorted that problem for himself a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to combine these last two nominations into one. Okay, Cameron, if you could just read the top one, and then we'll just give him the award.
Jack Grealish made me say this a very naughty word that's very bad, and I don't like using that word.
Does that word begin with the letter N?
No.
Why would it begin with N?
Jesus Christ, he's a white guy.
The record, TOS. It's not that.
For the record, I don't know the context of this, so I just assumed he was being very racist.
The word that we were on about referring to N might have been nonce rather than the other one.
It's a word that Jack Grealish is very much associated with, and he deserves it.
Oh, I thought he said the words.
Cameron,
Oh,
crashing.
Right.
I understand.
Anyway,
now. I thought he meant he said the words.
Right.
Yeah, just
Anyway, let's do a quick vote. I'm assuming Jack Grealish wins this one.
You missed the last one.
Jack
Jack Grealish's hair on that last game was absolutely vile.
No, we're combining them.
Top knot.
Anyway,
It looked like a 14-year-old girl with a.
are we giving it to Jack Grealish?
I'd say
Yeah.
I'd say Villa. I think.
Villa?
Well,
Jack Grealish is in.
How about Villa with a special whatever it's
With
called
a
for Grealish?
with a special little powdering of Grealish on top.
Yeah.
Is Grealish their captain still?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
Oh
know.
my God! Yeah,
Villa for that
Villa.
alone.
Villa.
Right, Villa win. Yeah.
And Grealish because he got I don't know, like not drink driving, but thingy of a week, wasn't it?
That were hilarious.
Right. Anyway, so running through our awards for this week, our good award that we don't have a name for yet is Twitter for banning Katie Hopkins. Our newly named bad award, the Frank Lampard Award for being bad, goes to Frank Lampard for not quite understanding what racism is. And the Katie Hopkins Award for ugly goes to Grealish Villa. Because both of them have been shit this week, and quite frankly, they both deserve it. So I've squished them together a little bit. Yeah, so...
Do we have Callum's question or...
Callum, have you thought of a question?
I really don't have a question.
Fuck it, we'll put that in...
That round thing in the middle of the pitch that the players kick out.
What is that? Oh.
The what now?
The aim of football is to get the ball into the back of the net.
Anyway...
It's an intermittent sport requiring anaerobic and aerobic energy. That's all you get in
It's
this
getting
week.
too technical for me, Chief.
Each team wear different shirts. Why is that?
Anyway, Callum, if you could think of a question during the Fulham match that I'd extend that podcast a little bit, and that means that the 19 hours of podcast needs to be less me concentrating. Anyway, I'm going to leave that for there. Can I just have a quick yes/no? Are we going to beat Fulham tomorrow? One word from everyone.
Yes.
No,
No comment.
No.
no, we won't.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know what has faith,
Predictions.
apparently.
I mean, I'm being our only optimist, it seems. Anyway, I'm
What?
going
I
to.
just said yes! Excuse me?
Yeah, but you don't know what you're on about, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ah.
we say draw.
Yeah, if you want.
I don't
Okay,
make
no, we're still
predictions.
gonna lose.
So no.
No, but you said Elite's going to win tomorrow. I said no.
Right, fuck it. One word, win, draw, or lose. Andrew,
Lose.
Cameron,
Lose.
Harry,
No comment.
Callum,
No, I don't make
Win.
predictions. I find it very.
and I think win. Harry, shut the fuck up.
Negative Nancy.
And I'm going to leave the podcast there. Thank you for listening. And yeah, we'll put one up after the Fulham match. Thanks for showing up. Goodbye from me and goodbye from the everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Screw Jack Grealish.